Hello, I'm Atul Kharate. I'm representing Indian Oil Adani Ventures Limited. We are equal joint venture company of Indian Oil Corporation Limited and Adani Ports and SEZ. Indian Oil Corporation, as you know, one of the largest oil and gas marketing company in India, having a larger presence in petroleum, petrochemical, lube and other segment, and covering around 50% of the Indian retail market. Adani Ports and SEZ is one of the largest port company in India, having presence around 15 ports and also having an international presence by 5 international ports as on date. When we talked about India from the perspective of energy or oil and gas market, I think we are the third largest market today. We are the fourth largest refiner on the global scale. At the same time, the consumption in the country in terms of the petroleum product is growing somewhere around 3 to 4%. The consumption of LPG in the country is growing more than 5%. And the other resources of energy like the coal consumption has also increased by 6 to 7% post-COVID era in the country. That's really reflect upon the extremely high demand of energy in the country. On the other side, if you see the infrastructure development, India is at the peak and India is on the right path in terms of the economic development. So it's having a direct correlation with the additional demand of energy, additional demand of petroleum products in the country. And that is how we can see that in the recent crisis itself, it's a tough time for us. However, because of the international relationship, we have been positioned to maintain the and meeting the demand of the country. Before I really reflect upon the new energies and biofuel, I just wanted to reiterate that when the petroleum and petrochemical demand of the country is growing substantially in last couple of decades, it reflects that the country like India has to really balance between adoption of the more and new sources of energy and also maintaining the existing resources of energy to meet the economic demand of the country. That means it takes some amount of time at the national level, maybe for a couple of decades, the journey of consumption of fossil fuel, the journey of existing fuel has to be continued, and in parallel, we need to really grow the alternate sources of energy. Those are like green energies and other resources like new energies. When we talked about the new energies, I think solar India is doing exponentially well, and we have surpassed the target which we have taken it for 2030. We are right on the path of development of solar energy, wind energy, and in parallel, I think India is having a lot of thrust on the development of new sources of energies that we can call it as a waste to energy. The next step, which can be an addition here, is compressed biogas. In India today, we can see more than 200 plants are up and running, and another 400 plants are in the various stage of construction. It means I expect that by end of 2030, the country like India will be having close to 1500 numbers of compressed biogas plant, which will add a lot of value to the theme of gas-based economy in the country. In the whole energy pie, when India is looking for 15% of energy from the gas, I think these initiatives like waste to energy, compressed biogas, all the major cities or metro cities and tier 2 cities to have an waste management plan in place, as well as that can also add value by having an energy generation units like CBG or electricity generating plant. I think this is going to add a lot of value in the coming days. When it comes to industry, I think most of the oil marketing companies, which covers around close to 90% of the Indian market, they have initiated their renewable vertical. They have their plans in place in terms of journey towards solar expansion. They have plans in place even for the upcoming fuels like hydrogen, or how can we really use methanol in the whole scheme of things. And Indian initiative of 20% ethanol blending in petrol has taken a real global step today. I think this is one of the country which is consuming the ethanol at such a large scale, and that has not only added value to the petroleum company, that has really added value to the whole ESG factor. I understand that this scheme of E20 has saved around 1 lakh 40,000 crores plus money, and that has added value to the Indian economy, Indian agriculture system, employment generation in rural areas. Maybe in coming days, we need to put a lot of thrust on biodiesel as well, which will be, I think, one of the challenge for us because of the various R&D issues or not having a raw material available in this segment. But if we collectively put efforts, I think the time has came that now the government of India, their energy companies and the private sector have to really join hands together, and they need to see that the IITs and IIMs in India, they have to collaborate with the private sector, and then we need to come out of very pragmatic solutions which can add value to the whole energy segment in the coming days. When it comes to mid-sized organizations like us, we being a JV of Indian Oil Corporation and Adani Ports and SEZ, while we are building our own fossil fuel activities as an storage solution provider in terms of petroleum terminals, petrochemical terminals, or crude terminals. At the same time, we have started our vertical in renewable. We have started our activities in the new energy segment, and we are very keen in the coming years that this segment will also add a lot of value in terms of the smooth energy transition for such a huge market like India in the coming years. As I was mentioning, primarily as on date, we are a midstream petroleum infrastructure and management company. However, considering the energy transition, which is vital, which is must for India as well as for the global operations, we have initiated our renewable vertical. We are having a country's first institutional size plant of compressed biogas, waste to energy facilities in the state of Tamil Nadu. We are in the process of expanding those facilities in and around Tamil Nadu state. At the same time, we are having plan in place in terms of how can we multiply these many numbers of plants of compressed biogas in the coming days. At the same time, as I was mentioning, it's important for a large consuming country like India, which is the world third largest market, that we need to see a balance between the infrastructure development and economic development of the country. That means the existing sources of fuel, when their demand is incremental, we need to also create some space for it. So we are also in the stage of creating some petroleum storages, which is a combination of petroleum, petrochemical, aviation fuel, LPG facilities. Those we are expanding in two major refineries in the India, being a joint venture company of Indian Oil Corporation and Adani Ports and SEZ.